Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, and I apologize, but I've been waiting on my valve covers to get powder coated for this car. I've been waiting for the engine to come back for the Supra, and I sent some things out to get powder coated on a 99. In that time frame where I haven't had those parts, I've installed a shop AC. I'm able to work in here without dying. I also have a dehumidifier back there. It's temporarily hooked up. I plan to go ahead and run wiring for more outlets and stuff because there's not a lot of outlets in the shop right now. But we also got hit by a hurricane, so that took up a good amount of time to clean up everything, and we were fortunate not to have any major damages to the house or the shop or anything like that. But a couple months ago, my little brother came to Cars and Coffee with me. He was interested in building a project. So we had looked for a little while and we found some DSM shells. We got two shells. One's a front wheel drive and one's a GSX all wheel drive. So we're going to go ahead and take the parts that are not on the GSX from the GST, like the interior and any little random miscellaneous things that can be swapped over. But they were completely shelled besides the interior and the front wheel drive GST. Now he's still pretty young, so we're going to go ahead and try to build this in a budget. We've already started the process of painting the GSX shell. And in this video, we're going to be putting together this 6-bolt block for him. Now this 6-bolt block, it already has a balance shaft elite. It has the 1G rods, it has WiesCo pistons, and the factory 6-bolt crank. We have a factory head. We're going to be changing the valve stem seals out on it. Just trying to keep it in a budget. Since this was already assembled when I got it, I'm going to go ahead and inspect the bearings and the internals to make sure everything is fine before we go ahead and assemble it, because I've had a bad history about that already. So has everybody else apparently. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this. This head came off of a running vehicle. It was pretty dirty. I went ahead and cleaned it up. All the cam journals look good. We're just going to go ahead and replace the valve stem seals just for a preventive, because I'm not sure what kind of condition they're in, and I'd rather do it right now while the head's off the car than later on the car starts smoking and we have to change it inside the car. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, let's see if we can do this without shooting a keeper across the shop. Alright, so for the block, I'm going to go ahead and remove the main caps, the rod caps. I'm going to pull the pistons out because there's some RTV and some junk in there that I'm going to clean out before we put it back together. I'm going to inspect the bearings because this was supposed to be a pretty fresh rebuild on this. And if they're all good, I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, change the front cover and the water pump with new OEM stuff, and the timing components with new OEM stuff. I'm going to have to transfer the balance shaft delete kit to the new cover I have. So I hate to end the video like I've ended my last videos where it doesn't actually get completed, but this is why you should always go through a used engine whenever you get it to make sure that nothing like this is wrong with it. This probably could have ran for a good little while without any issues arising, but I want this to be reliable for them so we don't have to pull the motor back out or anything like that in the future. You can see that the crank isn't too bad.
but it probably could use a good polishing, and it'll be good. There's some trash in the block. It probably should just be hot tanked and get the journals cleaned out and all the oil galleries. This was the balance shaft delete shaft. It has some wearing on it, but it looks like what happened to this engine was somebody used way too much RTV and it went through the motor and messed up everything. There's some rust on this gear right here from it sitting. And here's one of the rod bearings. Is enough to catch my finger on it. Like I said, it probably would have ran for a good little while, but we're after reliability, so we're gonna go ahead and do it right.